Hello and welcome to another edition of Cooking with Kacy. Today we are going to make a beef and broccoli stir fry. This is a plated up Kentucky Proud recipe, so you can do features of local broccoli, onion, cauliflower, and red bell pepper. These are all things that are available locally. Growing season is kind of coming to an end right now, but you may still be able to find a few of these things. If not, store-bought works just fine too. Or if you have frozen any of these things from your summer garden harvest, it's a great opportunity to use it up. So the very first thing our recipe tells us to do is to marinate some steak with minced garlic and some stir-fry sauce. So this is just a sirloin steak that was really thin that I cut into strips. And then it is in our bowl with a tablespoon of our stir-fry sauce and a clove of minced garlic. Okay, so while that's setting, I'm going to go on and put some oil into my skillet. So I've got a tablespoon of oil that's going to go into our skillet. Okay, and so we're going to let that go, and I'm going to start adding my beef in there. You hear that nice sizzle we have going? We get all that in there. So this is going to cook for 1 minute in the skillet. It's a very thin strip, so it will not take long at all to cook. So I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to grab this clean dish so that when our beef comes out, we have someplace clean to put it. So once it cooks for a minute, we're going to take it out of the skillet and we're going to put it over into the clean dish. And then we're going to work on our vegetables in the skillet. Again, y'all know I like a one-pot thing, and it's kind of a one-pot dish other than the couple bowls that we're using. So, all right. While that finished cooking, now I have done some pre-chopping, obviously, with my already chopped up vegetables here. So I have a diced red bell pepper. I have some cauliflower. And I have some broccoli, and I have a diced red onion. Our recipe also calls for a yellow squash. Forgot my yellow squash at home, so that we're just doing it without it today. So, but you could definitely add that to it or leave it out. So, I like this recipe because it is nice and versatile with the vegetables that you can use in it. If you happen not to like one of these, you can easily just leave it out. And it will be just fine. There's a ton of flavor in this recipe. Super easy, and most people, this is something that they will eat. All right. All right, so I'm gonna go on and remove our beef from it. Now, it is still not quite completely cooked, but we're going to add it back to the skillet after our veggies cook. Okay, so I'm just going to take it out, put it in this bowl. You see, just in a minute there, it cooked a lot. Just because this is a super thin piece of steak. I like doing this thin because that allows you to do a cheaper cut of meat. Because you're kind of marinating and using in the sauce, that will help to tenderize that more inexpensive cut of meat. Okay, one little piece in there. Okay, so now we are going to add 3 more tablespoons of oil to our skillet. Okay, get those going in there. And then we're going to add our vegetables, okay? So we're going to add in our red bell pepper. Add in our cauliflower. We're going to add in our broccoli. And we're going to add in our diced onion. Now I have to make sure here. I think I may have cut, yeah. It calls for a medium onion. This was a pretty large onion, so I'm just gonna kind of use about half of it. Okay. You could add more or less depending on your onion, but I think this would be a pretty good choice for us. Okay, so I'm just gonna give that a stir.
Yep. I wish you could smell.
So we're going to let that stir fry for about 3 or 4 minutes, just until those vegetables start to get crisp tender. And then we will add in our beef back to the skillet. Okay. We talk so much about eating a rainbow. This is definitely eating a rainbow. And if we had yellow squash in there, it would be even more of a rainbow. So you're getting tons of nutrients with this dish. You're getting vitamin A, you're getting vitamin C. There's just so many things that are, you're getting tons of fiber because of all of these fresh vegetables. So it's a super, super healthy dish. Now, stir fry is traditionally just a crisp, tender vegetable. Now, if you happen to want a softer vegetable, you could definitely cook it a little bit longer to get the vegetables a little softer, depending on your preference. But traditionally, a stir fry is a crisp tender. Another good thing that you could add to this would be some snap peas. Would be a great addition to this.
How about water chestnuts?
Water
maybe?
chestnuts, yeah. And as you can see, this makes a ton. You know, if you didn't need to fix this much, you could definitely half this recipe, or you could fix it, share it, you know, with a friend, or maybe freeze it for later, or have plenty of leftovers.
Here's the beef she cooked and about how done it is. It's not all the way through.
See how thin these strips are. They're really thin strips. Yep, so see, some of it still has some pink. You know, when steak like this is generally okay to do, like this is probably a medium, maybe medium well for the most part. So you could eat it like that, but some people don't like any pink in their meat, so that's why we're going to add it back and finish cooking. All right, so as you can see, this stir fry has really brought out the color of that broccoli. You can see how bright green it is now.
Kacy, I have to say my dad is a stir fry lover. This would be top on his list here.
I love a good stir fry too. I like it because, one, it's delicious. And two, there are so many different ways you can cook a stir fry, and so many different ingredients you can play with and different meats you can use. You could substitute chicken in this if you don't like beef or don't eat beef. You could definitely do chicken with this, would be great. Okay, so I think those are about ready. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add our beef back in.
Boy, this makes a lot.
It does really make a lot.
One more piece in there.
Oh.
You can't forget any.
Can't forget any.
There's one last survivor.
All right. Let's try and hang it. Okay, so I'm just going to give this a quick stir, and then we're going to add the remaining half cup of our stir fry sauce. The stir fry sauce is just over with the soy sauce and stuff at the grocery store. It's kind of thick. It's got a little sweetness to it. This makes a super yummy addition to this recipe. Give that a big toss. That beef will finish cooking up very quickly.
Now, is this over a medium heat or high heat?
This is about over a medium heat.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to just let that cook for a couple minutes. While that's finished cooking, I'm going to add our last ingredient, which is some red pepper flakes.
Oh, that's a surprise ingredient I wouldn't have expected.
So if you don't like red pepper flakes or don't like a lot of heat, you could certainly leave this out. But we're just using a half of a teaspoon. So it's not going to, if you think about how much is in that skillet, a half a teaspoon is not really a lot. So we're just going to sprinkle that over. Red pepper flakes are a great way to add just a little bit of something to it.
Red pepper flakes always remind me of my grandma. She always put that on her pizza.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you remember going into the pizza restaurants and had the little shakers?
Yeah, they did. Yes.
Yeah, a little Parmesan cheese and a little thing of red pepper flakes.
That's true. I hadn't thought about that.
Okay, so this is almost done. Come together super quick. Well, see, this just is full of color. It is full of flavor, full of different textures. So this is just a great dish to prepare. Especially if you're looking for something that's on the healthier side. You know, some meat and some vegetables in this. You could add some brown rice to it if you wanted to make it an even more complete meal. All right, I wish you guys could smell this at home because it smells so good.
Look, we've brought the attention of other folks here. What do you think about it, Joseph?
I love it.
We're not able to sample, so don't be jealous.
Yeah.
But we can cook it at home, and we'll send out the recipe.
Yes, I have the recipe printed, and you guys will all get a copy of it. That you can try this at home. All right, that's done. I'm gonna turn my skillet off so it can start to cool down.
One final look at it.
You guys can see that finished product.
Oh gosh, it smells good. Nice.
And that's it. So I hope you all enjoyed this recipe. Remember, a like is showing us that you want to see more of these recipes, and a share is a great way to bring your friends and family over so they can see some healthy recipes too. So I think that's it for today. We'll see you guys later. Bye.